Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor channel. There's a lot going on this morning, and I'm gonna talk. Apex starts today. I'm gonna talk about that some in the group. If you want to join, go to daixrp.com to join the Patreon, or click the join button right below this YouTube video. This happened yesterday. Chairman SEC Chair Paul Atkins.
Another core feature of blockchain technology is the ability of individuals to have self-custody of crypto assets in a personal digital wallet. The right to have self-custody of one's private property is a foundational American value that should not disappear when one logs on to the internet. I'm in favor of affording greater flexibility to market participants to self-custody crypto assets, especially where intermediation imposes unnecessary transaction costs or restricts the ability to engage in staking and other on-chain activities.
I agree with him. I believe self-custody should be an option for everyone. I personally don't do it. I prefer institutional grade custody. That's why I opened an account with Caleb and Brown, my affiliate partner. You can open an account. You can do self-custody if you'd like, and just use them for their liquidity for your exit if that's what you'd rather do. You can have a Ledger Nano S or whatever it is that's dated, isn't it? It's not Ledger Nano S. It's they have like better ledgers now. But you could use a hard wallet or one on your phone or whatever, and then just have a Caleb and Brown account and go through your verification process and just have yourself ready so that you can put digital assets on the platform when the time comes to do your exit. Or you can do like I do, and you can have their institutional grade custody with Fireblocks and sleep better at night and not worry about a lot of the risks associated with having self-custody. You can go to XRPWealth589.com if you want to open an account. We've got a $2.30 XRP. This stuff feels like it's ready to blast off. Now, I told you folks, that Circle IPO has set it off, folks. Wall Street's paying attention. Not that they weren't already, but watching that price go from 31 all the way up to whatever it went to, this is a big deal, folks. I was there during the .com boom, and you're about to see it. You're going to see .com on steroids. Now, I want to make a point. It's going to be different this time. And ironically, because the regulators held back this industry, you had something that didn't happen during the .com boom. .com was allowed to just go, whereas the regulators held this back, and it killed a lot of the people who probably wouldn't have survived in the long run anyway. And so this time, as this all goes off, and as you see these companies going public, it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be companies with no business model. It's going to be companies that are already making tons of money, like Circle. So it's different than the .com. In the .com, you had a lot of companies that were bleeding money, going public and getting ridiculous valuations. This time is different, in my opinion. Now, that doesn't mean you won't have booms and busts. You always do, because you have animal spirits. But this time, these companies that are going public are real, legit companies. They're making real, legit money. But you can see, when you start seeing the Jim Cramers getting hyped up about it, you know what's coming.
The IPO market is back, and arguably bigger than ever. Last week, we saw one of the flashiest deals of the year when Circle Internet Group came public. Now, this is a crypto platform that's the issuer of the second largest stable coin out there, and Wall Street lapped it up. We will explain stablecoin. Just 1 second. Now, see, there was so much demand for this deal that both the size of the deal and the price of the offering were raised twice. Originally, Circle was looking to sell 24 million shares at a price range of $24 to $26. But by the time the offering was finalized, it had been upsized to 34 million shares and priced at $31, raising $1.05 billion in gross proceeds. When Circle was set to begin trading last Thursday, there were whispers that the deal was something like 20 times oversubscribed. I mean, honestly, you always hear that for hot deals, and you can never really take it too seriously. It just turns out to not be the case. Well, man, it might have been true this time because CRCL opened for trading at $69 on Thursday. That is up well over 100% from the deal price. And that was just the beginning. Circle ended the first day at $83, up 168% from where it came public. Then tacked on another $24 on Friday. We're getting another $7 and change today, closing at $115. Did these bankers...
You think all the other crypto companies and all the Wall Street investment banks aren't paying attention to that? Well, apparently the CEO of Uphold is letting it be known. This is from an article at The Block. He says Simon McLaughlin's the CEO of Uphold, told The Block that Uphold's board has appointed FT partners to explore strategic options, which include both a possible initial public offering in the U.S. or a sale to another company. We're currently being courted by a number of banks, brokers, financial institutions, and payment firms, McLaughlin told The Block on Monday. So equally, a trade sale may be an option. While the CEO wouldn't comment on valuations, a person familiar with the matter pinned the number worth $1.5 billion. FT Partners didn't immediately respond to requests to comment. McLaughlin's mention of a potential IPO comes in the wake of U.S.-based Circle's successful public image offer, up over $115 per share on Monday after debuting last week at $31. Circle shares have already appreciated. You can see what's coming. This was the Circle CEO yesterday. They did a Spaces as a review of XRP Las Vegas, and he said this.
As a company, we're now getting inbound inquiries from the likes of banks, payment firms, global payroll payout companies, fintechs who haven't incorporated digital assets or blockchain in what they do, and now they're in a race to catch up, basically. So a lot of these companies are now plugging into our APIs in order to access our licensing, liquidity, and pricing advantages. And of course, one of those companies is Ripple itself. We're a node in the Ripple ODL payout network, which is about cross-border money movement for corporates.
That's right, and we just announced IG in the UK as a key partner using the platform to give crypto to their customers.
Yeah, so for anybody who missed it, IG Index is the first public company in the United Kingdom to offer crypto to their customers. And the way they're doing it is they've plugged into our API.
The crypto phones are ringing, folks, and then here they're talking about tokenized equities. Nobody's talking about equitization of tokens.
Up until now, Binance, Coinbase have been the largest places to trade tokens. But we've already seen a Solana treasury company. We've recently seen the introduction of an Ethereum treasury company. And I think that
an XRP treasury company.
That's going to start moving out towards smaller projects, higher up the risk curve. And so we've been talking about tokenizing equities for years. We're going to be equitizing tokens. And the NASDAQ is going to become one of the biggest trading venues for tokens over the course of the coming year. I think is a very likely scenario.
The NASDAQ. And then this is Robbie Mitchnick, formerly of Ripple, now the head of digital assets at BlackRock. And he's talking about financial advisors. I've been telling you that the financial advisors were all... I told a story a while back. I was talking to a friend at Morgan Stanley in my town, and he was laughing at me about the whole crypto. This was 5 years ago. He's laughing at me, rolling his eyes. And I said, before this is over, you're going to be selling crypto. You just haven't figured out a way to get paid yet. Well, that's the other part of all of this, is these financial advisors at the same time are going to start getting paid.
Now, more recently, we've seen just steady progress of more wealth advisor adoption, more institutional adoption. It's been a mix of people who it's the first time that they've invested in anything in the crypto space. And then on the other hand, you have lots of people who've been invested in Bitcoin for a long time, and they're taking advantage of the ETP wrapper.
When it comes to the adoption by wealth advisors, I'm curious how far along you think we are in that. Are we in the early innings? Are we in the middle innings? Are we, I don't think we're in the 8th or 9th inning, but, where would you put it at? Very early. I think that what we've seen is a concerted effort by most of the largest firms to progress through their diligence and their research and their approval process. But as you all know, for new ETFs, it's typically a multi-year journey to get any sort of approval. We've seen that fast-tracked by a number of firms. When we talk about fast-tracking, we're talking about, quarters, not months. And slowly but surely, you've seen, I think, an acceleration, particularly in the last couple months, of more notable firms lowering barriers, granting approvals to their advisors to use these. And I think that's, obviously set to continue.
Okay. Now, I got my hot little hands on the actual footage from XRP Las Vegas. These are the ones with the good sound. This clip from Brad Garlinghouse, he's telling you it's coming too.
So, look, this is going to sound a little hyperbole, but it is an amazing time to be alive and see this shift of headwinds to tailwinds. And I think people still underestimate how profound that will be when the largest economy in the world and the most important regulatory bodies in the world go from being hostile, openly and actively hostile and counterproductive, to constructive, to how do we partner with this industry. It's a massive sea change. I think people underestimate how consequential that will be over 2025, 2026 and beyond. Now, one of the things in the Hidden Road acquisition particularly, I think Ripple tries to be a little bit, we're kind of at the infrastructure layer. We try to think about where the world is going and make bets that are going to play out over years. I've always talked about, and this community particularly has been extremely patient as we have fought some frustrating fights. But the Hidden Road acquisition is really about continuing to build bridges between traditional finance and decentralized finance. And I think if you believe that it's just going to be, okay, the DeFi world is just going to grow and replace it, I don't believe that. We have to bridge that gap. And Ripple has been working around our payments business and bridging that gap for almost a decade. And for me, Hidden Road represents, if we want the largest market makers, the largest hedge funds in the world to come into this ecosystem, we need the infrastructure to enable that. Hidden Road is one of the fastest growing non-bank prime brokers. Most of the players in the prime broker space are the traditional commercial banks. And for those guys have been hostile towards crypto because of the regulatory dynamic. That's changing a little bit, but Hidden Road, I think, is a subtle, almost flex to their hundreds of clients, names you've heard of, the largest, financial players in the world that are using Hidden Road. They cleared $3 trillion last year. They're growing very quickly, and frankly, with Ripple's balance sheet, we're only going to see that accelerate. That's great for the XRP ecosystem. That's great for RLUSD. And I will keep reminding people, Ripple is completely committed to what we can do to make XRP the most trusted, the most useful, and the most liquid digital asset on the planet. We will always be committed to that.
Okay, we're going to go in the group. We'll talk about Apex a little bit, and got a lot more stuff. Go to daixrp.com to join through the Patreon, or click the join button below any of my YouTube videos if you'd rather join through YouTube. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Away we go.